it feels like the world is going through a multidimensional crisis right now. And I was just thinking that it feels like maybe the world's on kind of a bad trip, you know. People who've had a psychedelic experience have gone through real intense kind of transformative, you know, visionary, crazy kinds of times and experiences. And so I was wondering if that, you know, kind of in some way is informing my understanding of this time. And I was feeling so many feelings, as I imagine many of you are. And so this put me in touch with remembering the great LSD psychiatrist and really the world's leading psychedelic researcher, Stanislav Grof. He sat with thousands of patients as they went through their psychedelic experiences, and he noticed some archetypal kinds of patterns that emerged in these experiences. And he saw time and again a kind of sequence that was patterned after physical birth. And so they go after the stages of birth, and there's 4 stages. He called them the birth perinatal matrices, or BPM. So BPM number 1 was the happy womb, where you were all snug and warm and safe, and everything was cozy and happy. That was the condition, the happy home and very snug and warm. That's number 1. Number 2 is when those safe walls start to crush in on you, and you start to feel like you're trapped. He said you don't have to be reliving your physical birth, but you can be having these feelings, you know, like this existential sense of no exit, you know, a sense of entrapment, you know, just emotionally. And so then it leads to BPM number 3, which is when there is an opening, a dynamic and violent thrust forward, when things are changing very fast and there's a tremendous upheaval. And so, in a sense, I feel like our culture is going through that period right now. That there's a force that is being unleashed and is being born. And of course, number 4 is a new world. So there is a new world being born in each one of us that is coming forward as we pass through this world crisis together. And so, you know, it's about breathing. All of these crises have getting a breath in common. And so this is also a birth crisis, getting the first breath of life. What are we going to breathe into and become? So as creators, you know, we think having a church that centers on creativity and our own creative spirit, this is a way that each one of us can get back in touch with the vital center of meaning inside of yourself. You may be going through a lot of feelings. I hope that you're taking some time to journal, to write some things down, to think about what's important, maybe to make art about it. Of course, we encourage you to draw, you know. But anyway, writing poetry, any kind of creative endeavor, even cooking a meal or something, you know, some way of translating some of your feelings and passions into an artifact or some kind of creative expression. This is a way of getting the subjective, feeling out into an objective state. And that way you can get a little bit of a distance from it, and you can maybe move on from there. And so, as a community, every full moon, we would get together, and in this room, hundreds of us. And so now, we're in a new condition. We're inside of a womb. We're inside of our kind of self-isolation kind of spaces, and yet something is being born in us. Something is coming. And so I hope that you're getting in touch with this. One of the ways that some people like to get in touch with this kind of spirit, maybe you haven't prayed before, but consider prayer. You don't even have to believe in God to talk to your higher mind. There's elements inside of us. So one way to get in touch with it is to pray. But there's some stuff you could know about praying. So one of those things is just to be really straight, just be humble, be open, be honest. You're talking inside, and you're talking to this ultimate mystery that brought you to life, okay? And so with humble gratitude, really, you find a way to praise this ultimate mystery, this divine reality that you're an expression of and is all around us and is within you. Praise God for whatever you're grateful for. And then you acknowledge your own shortcomings and see where you could have done better and ask forgiveness. And then you can move in with the request, or if you have a question, and then leave space for Spirit to speak to you. And then you thank Spirit, and really that's it. You may get some kind of image, you may get some insight. This is a way to tap into your superconscious mind. So bring it into form, express it, share it with your community.